Well, yes, Reliance numbers are out for Q3 numbers. Largely, it's looking like it's a beat. And if you take out the numbers overall, the revenue looks like in line. But the EBITDA, that is the number which you're looking at, that has actually beat the estimates. And also, Reliance Jio, they have also come out with their numbers in the ARPU. The number which is to look at is at 203. That's slightly below what the estimate has been there. But of course, joining us, we are having our guest, Devin sir is there, and Naveen Kulkarni sir is also there. Naveen sir, firstly, I would like to point out like the first earning reactions coming in for Reliance. How is it actually looking like, especially on the commentary on their OTC business and the overall retail business over there? It seems a bit of muted numbers have been coming in, but the EBITDA numbers have actually surprised. Naveen sir.
So overall, the numbers look to be a 3% beat on our estimates. The EBITDA number is a beat. The profit number is also a beat. In terms of segments, I would say that the O2C business, we were expecting around 13,500 crores. That number also looks to be slightly better considering they are looking at around 14,400 crores. So that number looks better. The retail business, we were expecting the revenue growth to be slightly muted. It's okay. The revenue number is, I would say, that slightly better than our expectations. Consequently, the EBITDA number, which is looking to be at around 7.6% margin, that number also looks to be slightly better than what we estimated. Geo number looks little lower considering the ARPU we were estimating in the range of around 205. So that number looks little lower than what we expected. But overall, I would say that the numbers look pretty decent to me in the context of the expectations being quite muted and operating metrics being quite challenging in this quarter, in this last 3 to 6 months.
Thank you, Naveen sir. And next question is for Sushil Choksi sir. Sir, if you could hear me, sir, the OTC has been a surprise when it comes to the numbers, especially the operation numbers which we are looking at. Retail was muted as expected, but of course, on a sequential basis, there has been an increase. So, Sushil sir, what are your take coming, especially when it comes to Geo? Numbers have been slight off when it comes to the subscription addition as well as ARPU.
Good evening and thanks for having me on the show. I think result seems online as per market expectation or marginally better by 2 to 5% depending on segment to segment you go. Reliance Jio ARPU at 203 is online more or less, maybe 0.5% here and there. People were expecting with increase in tariff there is going to be some churn where people would opt out of Jio. But the subscriber number at 42 million remains strong compared to 470 million of last year. So I think Jio numbers are stable. I think people, as 4G, 5G expansion goes with services adding, I suppose with matter of time, the vision which are being spoken about rivals and then increasing the average ARPU year on year would be visible over time. So I don't think so with capex over any negativity is visible on the Jio numbers.
Thank you, Sushil sir. And a question for Devin sir as well. Strong commentary coming from the management also, especially when it comes to the 5G adoption. And what we are hearing is that they are expected to create a GeoMart express deliveries as well. So commentary is coming in the new scale of businesses as well. And Devin sir, what are the current levels looking like for Reliance? Of course, there was a bad year in 2024, but the numbers have been pretty strong. It seems like barring little bit of inline set of numbers coming when it comes to Geo, but other segments have given a surprise performance when it comes to the operational profits, especially in the OTC and the chemical business. So overall, sir, what is the feeling of Reliance? What are your takeaways for it?
Sharad, good evening. I think what we talked at the end of the quarter two result, that quarter two result O2C margins are suppressed because of the reasons on the GRM side, and that we did discuss that it was a one-off. I think quarter three has been pretty stable on the GRM side, though we don't have actual numbers break up at this point of time in hand. But I think more or less the numbers are looking, I think, much more smarter in the quarter three for the GRM. And at the same time, I think the detailed numbers, I think, on the EBITDA front, which has come against the estimate, they have also been looking very, very healthy as far as this quarter is concerned. ARPU is gradually increasing as soon as I think the older plans get out of the way, the newer plans get in. I think the ARPU is gradually increasing. We shouldn't be surprised to see ARPU inching towards 220 by the end of FY26 fourth quarter. So given that kind of a situation, the Jio platform is looking actually more exciting from a perspective of looking at the growth in the business in the Jio platform. Also, the fiber rollout at enterprise and home level is also yielding into the higher amount of revenue generation and the EBITDA generation. So we remain positive on that front as well. The Jio Mart and retail front, again, I think the important point out there would be, of course, express delivery which you mentioned, but the point here it would be that I think those format of stores where probably they were not making money, they are gradually rationalizing those stores and putting in, I think, a premiumization on the SKU side. So that is an area where probably I think retail could possibly show better surprise in the following financial year, if not in the fourth quarter alone. So all in all put together, I think each of the formats are looking literally interesting at the current level, and so is the stock price. I think it's quite an attractive proposition to add into the portfolio.
So for your views for Reliance. Joining us is Mayuresh Joshi, sir. Hi, Mayuresh. So the results are looking kind of very strong when it comes to Reliance, especially if you look at the revenue, that's largely in line, but EBITDA, that has been a surprise, especially coming from the OTC business. The OTC EBITDA has increased almost 2.4% on a year-on-year basis. Also, this is supported by higher volumes and also an operational flexibility coming in. That was a surprise. Of course, the overall retail business itself, that was expected to be a bit muted, but the commentary is very strong, and the management has stated there has been a significant pickup in the festive demand as well. So largely it is looking a strong set of results when it comes to Reliance. So Mayuresh, what are your take on it?
Very good evening. I think two things. One is the surprise in the O2C business as well, because a large part of the expectation of the market was that O2C business will largely remain the weak link in this quarter's numbers. But that has shown to be very resilient this time around as well. And one really needs to see the detailed commentary in terms of the delta change in the spread when it comes to the downstream part of the business going forward as well, in terms of global demand supply as well as the Chinese demand supply dynamics. On the retail side of the businesses, obviously I think the retail piece, which is Reliance Retail, has done well. And therefore, I think the expectations in terms of store maturities, expectations in terms of use of technology, and therefore maximum leverage created out of the retail business with demand coming back slowly and steadily, along with the addition of new stores, which will obviously keep on adding to the overall volume growth. And as Devendra also mentioned, rationalizing a few stores which are probably not doing well means that Reliance Retail should be on a very steady state path as far as earnings are concerned. When it comes to Jio, obviously there is a large belief that ARPUs will keep on heading northward as we head into the next few quarters. You've probably seen some element of subscriber loss that has probably happened, what we've been reading through data points. But I think there is a large part of stability now being achieved in terms of the subscriber market share as well as the revenue market share. And this augurs well for the telecom part of the operation. So I think the retail business is expected to continue doing well. The expectations in terms of the surprise of the O2C business, if this continues, the upstream business, which should also garner some element of steam as we head into the next few quarters, with the flexibility that Reliance probably has in terms of its feedstock options, obviously gives them that optionality in terms of stability of numbers on that part. On the new age businesses, again, calibrated way of approaching those in terms of the capex need, and therefore return ratios and leverage is being kept under control. So yeah, surprisingly, I think a strong set of numbers, whereas the street was probably going with a weakish or a softer set.
Thanks a lot, Mayuresh, for joining with us and giving your views on Reliance. The next question is for Naveen, sir, and especially this is a question for Jio. Of course, the numbers were slight below estimates, but overall the commentary.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.